Hello everybody, welcome back to Read and Reread. I am Angelia and today it's time for Friday Reads. This Friday really is the last Friday of August, and I can't say as far as reading goes I'm ending on a bang. Well, I guess I kind of am, so I'm reading some good stuff, but I didn't read very much this week. That's the kind of bang that isn't happening. And if you saw my last video, you can imagine why I just didn't get very much reading done this week. And that is because of our rescue friend who is staying with us right now, Mr. Wilky. Wilky, he's distracting. So a quick recap if you missed the previous saga. This dog, whom we named Wilky, was running around the neighborhood, and lots of people had seen him. Lots of people had tried to catch him because he was kind of friendly but really skittish. Somebody had him in their yard and then he got out, and so everybody had tried to rescue this dog. And then somewhere in there, it was either the best or the worst thing that we ever said was, oh, we'll if somebody can get him, we can hang on to him temporarily. And so somebody did get him, and now he's been with us for a week, I guess. I guess it's a week tomorrow. And really he's doing quite well. He's a puppy. He's a big puppy, probably maybe 8-ish months old. We're not sure. And of undetermined heritage. He went to the vet and he got neutered and came back an altered man and got a rabies shot. And so he's been recovering. So that's the current rescue situation. Plans as far as foster organizations, that's kind of on hold while he recovers from his surgery. So I will try to get a video clip of him. Here's a picture of him responding to the sight of me exercising. He can't believe the spectacle. But I'll try to get a little action clip. Well, I'll put in a little something so you can see him a little bit better. But anyway, so he's distracted at the beginning of this video, and he's distracted me all week, and nothing's getting done. That's the basic story here. We watched nothing, no TV. And I am very, very excited that in the upcoming week, the British Baking Show is starting back up, which we both love. I guess that's next Friday. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I guess we could just jump right into the books. Maybe it'll be a mercy and the video will be short. I did finish, excuse me, scoot up here. I feel like I'm cutting the top of my head off. I finished an excellent science fiction classic that I did start talking about last week, and it is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. I think it was published in 1968, 1969. And I know a million people have already read this, but I had not. I thought I had, but I hadn't. Now I'm distracted by a really raggedy bird. There's like a harbinger of doom or something, this big shaggy black bird right outside my window. Never mind. I think I'm turning into a puppy. I see something over there. The Left Hand of Darkness. It was so good. I read this as part of my science fiction double feature project, and it was so many different things. When I first started talking about it last week, I was talking about the world building and how I was getting a handle on the different political factions and the regions in this world that a young Terran man has gone to as an envoy, trying to convince people on this planet to join a kind of a federation of planets. I think it's called the Ecumen, and to try to explain to them the benefits of belonging to this organization. But in order to do so, he has to get a feel for the culture, the tempo, the politics of this place. On this planet, the Earth word for this planet is winter, and they're in an ice age. And that's a major part of the setting of this story, is how Genli I, our protagonist, is not cut out for this ice planet, but everybody else there is used to it. He's just constantly miserable the whole time on this freezing cold planet, and the ice situation gets worse as he goes through some adventures. But he's on this planet, and there's communication barriers, cultural barriers, some of which he's aware of, and some of it is he's not aware of the barriers that are impeding him. And gradually he becomes more aware of what he doesn't know. And he thinks he has a grasp on things, but he really doesn't. And the other main character, Estevan, um, is trying to help him out, trying to kind of protect him and clue him in, but they completely misunderstand each other for a large portion of this book. And so Gimli kind of ends up in the middle of some political intrigue that he doesn't fully have the handle on. And he doesn't know what kinds of danger, he doesn't know, he thinks he knows the nature of people, but he doesn't have the whole picture. So there's all this really good intrigue, political stuff, the dynamics of the diplomacy, and when somebody thinks and that they know what's going on and they don't really know all the layers. So that's a big part of the story. He does travel to some different areas, sometimes because he wanted to, and sometimes he didn't really plan that. And different things happen. So he sees different sides and aspects of this world and the differences in the setups and the cultures within the different regions. He also has to explore his understanding and his biases about the different way that sexuality and gender work on this planet. Because in this world, people do not have a specific gender except for a short period of time each month called Kimmer. And when a person is in Kimmer, they develop particular male or female attributes and they become sexually active and interested in being sexually active. And they look for a partner. They might have a partner already that is a vowed permanent partner, or they may just find a partner for that particular month. And at any given time, any person might be male or female during that time. And people do choose to have children, but not always. They have birth control if they don't want to have children. But if they do have children, someone might be a mother, and then at another time in their life, they might be a father. So there's all these barriers and comprehension things. And then on the other side, they look at Gimli, and he's just kind of makes them uncomfortable because in their estimation, he's always in Kimmer. The fact that he's just like sexually exists and that he's got this certain gender and kind of emanating all the time, that makes them uncomfortable. Because in their society, there's only a few people like that, and they are called perverts. They don't mean it like a, well, it is a slur, but it's also like their official designation. They are perverts. Everybody has these barriers that they have to work through to gain any kind of real communication and understanding. And some people aren't motivated. They don't want to understand. They just shun what they don't understand, and that's a familiar story. There are things in here, just like all good science fiction, there are things in here that seem so timely and relevant. There is a king who is petulant, petty, not mentally balanced, changes his mind all the time, goes through staff like crazy, has to be flattered and placated, and anybody who doesn't kiss his ass is a traitor and not loyal, and everybody has to be really careful how they play things when they deal with him. Does that sound like anyone that might ring a bell? And that's just at the beginning of the story. Well, he comes back in later, but what I loved about this story is every time I thought that I knew, well, this is the kind of story it is, it makes changes and new directions come up. So we have this excellent world building and these interesting characters that grow as the story progresses. It moves around. Sometimes we're seeing things from Gimli's point of view, sometimes from Estevan's, and sometimes we have other pieces that are folklore from this planet, or some other document about something that happened, a historical event. And so we get this kind of deeper sense of things. And so at one point it seems like it's about the coming together of two really different societies, and then also all the political intrigue going on between the different regions of this world. Then it turns into an adventure story at some point, a survival and treachery, and I don't even want to tell you because it would give it away. But it gets very adventurous at one point. And then just when you think that you know all about this book, it's a friendship story, a real love story of a friendship that is hard earned and goes deep. When I first started reading it, I was enjoying it. I was liking it. I was thinking, yeah, I see why this is such a well-respected book. And then it just grew on me and grew on me, and just by the time I got to the end, it was just really powerful. So now I finally know what the big deal is about The Left Hand of Darkness. I loved it. This is one of my favorite books that I've chosen so far for this project. Probably, I think my top ones so far are this and Glyph by Ali Smith. But I've liked them all except for maybe one, but this was excellent. Okay, so then that is the only book I finished. I am reading The Book of Records by Madeleine Thien with Pat from Book Chat with Pat. We're doing a buddy read. We are enjoying talking about this book, even though we do not understand what the heck is going on in this book. It is about a girl named Lena and her father who have fled China, and they're at this kind of enclave called the Sea. And seems to be sort of a way station for people coming and going, different immigrants from different situations. We don't know exactly if this is real, tangible, or some sort of limbo state or metaphorical construct or a dream or what it is. There's a surreal aspect to this place. And one thing that makes it really surreal is that the other residents that she becomes friends with at the Sea are actual people from history who lived in completely different time periods. The three books correspond with the three friends that she makes. It's people from actual history, and we're learning their stories. We don't really know how this fits in with Lena's story. We don't know what's real. We don't know why they're all in the same time period together. It's strange and interesting. We both like the way it's written, and we continue to discuss it. And I think I'm actually on track for the schedule we set up, which is a miracle, because I thought every video, I thought I was behind, but actually I'm not. I just haven't read anything else. And then the other thing is the conclusion of our T.S. Eliot read-along experience, and we're ending out the month on a light note with Old Possum's book, A Practical Cats, illustrated here by Edward Gorey. This is the one that I used to have this book, and then a previous dog ate it. You'd think I would learn by this library book. But these are lighter, funnier than some of the material we've been discussing, so it's kind of a nice way to end. And I'm going to read this weekend, or reread it, because I used to own it. And of course, this is the inspiration for the musical Cats. And that's all. I'm going to keep reading the Book of Records and the cat poems this weekend and get ready for the September reading. So, what have you been reading or doing this week? What's going on? I hope you've got something good in your pile for the weekend. I will be back soon. If I didn't put in a clip earlier, I'll try to put in a little clip here at the end of Wilky, and take care of this weekend. Well, here's Wilky, wondering what the heck. And you can see his face is so dark, it's sometimes hard to get a good picture of him. But there he is, chilling out on my couch